Yes, sir. So we are meeting pursuant to Executive Order 65, which allows us to have this meeting virtually in lieu of in person, kind of an exception to the Meetings Act. So we will need to adopt a specific motion at the beginning of this meeting that I can state for you in a minute. But there are some other requirements as well that Executive Order 65 added to a couple of the previous executive orders that had addressed these meetings being able to be virtually. Under Order 65, we need to identify ourselves as we speak, unless it's obvious who's speaking. Like, for example, if you're on video, we need to do all votes by roll call. So for each motion that's adopted by a vote, Don or someone will need to go through the list of all the names of the members and have them state their vote aye or nay. And then there are a few other little rules too that probably shouldn't come into it. Like if anybody else has another person in the room with them, they're supposed to disclose that. I think those are really the main ones. But the motion that you all have to adopt at the beginning of the meeting is that the business of the Municipal Auditorium Commission constitutes essential business of the metropolitan government, and that it is necessary to meet electronically for purposes of public health and safety in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Hey, Teresa, I would like to entertain the motion as so stated by Teresa. Do I hear anybody move to bring up?
So moved, John Landers.
Thank you, John. Do I have a second?
Second, Alice Chapman.
Thank you, Alice. So then we'll vote on it. All in favor of the motion at hand, please say aye and state your name.
Aye, John Landers.
Aye, Tanisha Alexander.
So we do need to do that by roll call, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. We'll do that. Dawn, do you want to call out everyone and then have them give their response?
Yes, I can do that. Alice Chapman,
Aye.
Blake McDaniels,
Aye.
John Landers,
Aye.
and Christy Watkins.
Christy? Unmute.
Aye.
Okay.
Just an aye from Christy. Fantastic work, everyone. So the motion is passed. Thank you, everyone.
Is Perry on? It kind of looks like Perry's on. I'm looking through the list.
Oh, yeah, Perry.
It is.
Yeah, and then Aaliyah just joined. Aaliyah.
I finally made it, Lord Jesus. Hey.
Fantastic, everyone. Glad to have you. Awesome, awesome. So were you able to hear the motion to run the meeting under Proposition 65? Is that correct, Teresa?
Yes, Executive Order 65 of the governor.
Fantastic. And we just held, are you in favor of that? Aaliyah and Perry?
Aye.
Aaliyah says aye, and then Perry?
Aye.
We have an aye from Perry as well, so we have unanimous decision on this one. Motion passes. Thank you all. All right, so now we'll get into the agenda, and we'll start by reading of the appeal of decisions. Pursuant to the provisions of 268030 of the Metropolitan Code of Laws, please take notice that the decisions of the Metropolitan Nashville Municipal Auditorium Commission may be appealed to the Chancery Court of Davidson County for review under a common law writ of certiorari. Any appeal must be filed within 60 days after entry of a final decision by the Commission. Any person or other entity considering an appeal should consult with an attorney to ensure that time and procedural requirements are met. Fantastic. We'll move to the approval of the minutes. Has everyone had a chance to look over the minutes? Do we have any additions or deletions that anyone would like to make?
Yes, I had,
Perry, this is Perry, correct?
yes, this is Perry.
Fantastic. It's okay.
The one edit that I'd like to submit is a clarification in the minutes at the second portion of my comments. It states that I want to clarify that I was not accosted, but it does not reference in my first part of the comments that the context and why I came back and restated that. So I wanted to submit some language that would allow us to clarify the opening set. I just haven't had a chance to draft that and submit it. Is it possible to do that post this meeting in order to clarify? Because I would not want somebody to read that as it becomes public and not context.
Teresa, as far as procedure goes, can we just table this motion for next meeting and then allow Perry some time to draft some language and then accept it in the next meeting?
Yes, I would just do a motion to defer the approval of the minutes to next month.
All right, cool. So I would like to entertain that motion.
So moved. John Landers.
Second, Perry.
Okay, I'm going to read the list and everybody. Alice Chapman,
Aye.
Aaliyah Armstrong,
Aye.
Blake McDaniel,
Aye.
John Landers,
Aye.
Perry DeGard Owens,
Aye.
Christy Watkins.
Aye.
Okay.
All right, motion is passed unanimously. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Now we'll move into the Musicians Hall of Fame and Museum report. Do we have anybody that would like to give that report?
Angela Smith, Musicians Hall of Fame and Museum.
Hello, Angela.
How are you?
Well, good to have you.
We are hanging on. Business has slowed down. I think when we first reopened, we're kind of guesstimating that we were at about 30% attendance. We're definitely below that now. It's going to be a rough few months here. So we don't have any events going on due to the mandates. We are open Thursdays, Friday, Saturday, and Monday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. We have been shutting down a little early when we don't have any customers. We are doing all of the protocol to be safe. We continue doing our YouTube videos that Joe does, the interviews with different artists and musicians, which seemingly are very successful, have a lot of followers. We participated in Giving Tuesday yesterday, so if anyone's looking for a nonprofit to make a donation to, we are a 501c3. That's about all we've got. We're just trying to hang on. Okay, I can't hear you, Blake.
That darn mute button. Sorry about that. Let's move into staff reports.
Okay, same thing. We're excuse me. We still have the women's shelter in through March 30, and I'll discuss that in just a minute. But we're currently in the process of hiring a new finance administrator. We had, I think, 38 applicants. We've got some really good applicants for that. We're in the process of hiring for that position right now. The construction is completed. We walked through and did the punch outs, which are just a little fine tuning. They have a few of those to do, but other than that, it's finally completed and it looks great. Other than that, we're just, we've painted the offices, the dressing rooms, the concourse. We're just doing a lot of that kind of stuff. And as far as events, we've got quite a few events on hold after spring through November. And we've got graduations in May, but everything's just kind of dependent upon the mayor's office and the health department as far as, COVID. So that's where we're at on that. So, and then the shelter, as I said, they'll be in through March 31st. that we have 125 beds. For the women, we have 8 family pods in there, and we currently have around 20 women right now. Last month, we were up to 110, and we had one family in the pod. It was just a mom and her son. And then over the winter, where they anticipate 40 to 60 women in there through, at any given time over the winter. And that's where we're at with everything. So,
All right. Any questions? All right, we'll move on to new business. Is there any new business that anyone would like to discuss or bring up?
Blake, before you move on, this is Perry again.
Hey, Barry.
Hey, just wanted to double check. Were we able to get an update to the Metro Council regarding the women's shelter and the usage based on the questions that I received from council member families?
Ew, I'm not sure about that. Don?
what was the question again?
So it's reflected in the minutes that we just tabled. When I went before the council to be reappointed, I was asked several questions, one of which was an update on the Live Nation contract, which, I've already discussed as to what my response was. And then separately, she asked how we were doing during COVID. And so I mentioned the women's shelter. She wasn't aware of that. So as the new chair of the committee, I thought it might be helpful if there was an update provided to her. And we chatted through that in the last meeting.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think if I remember correctly, John was going to go get reappointed, and Don was going to go with him, and they were going to be in front of the council and be available for questions then. How did that go? I was out of town, unfortunately, during that time.
Yeah, they didn't really. They just asked. The committee just asked about what all we're doing, what I'm doing, serving, what I like about it, what we think we've accomplished, that kind of thing. There weren't individual questions, and that didn't come up, even though I did offer it up after Don and I talked a little bit about it. And Perry had kind of warned me through Don that they may be asking about this. And so I offered that information up immediately, in my response to what I was, why I'm still interested, why I enjoy it, and what we were doing as a committee or a commission. And I just told them that we were, pivoting the building, use of the building to use for the COVID response to help the ladies of, homeless ladies around the town. So
Okay.
That's all that was really brought up about it.
Sure. And if that's sufficient, I'm absolutely fine with that. I just wondered if there was a formal submission. And it sounds like, John, that was absolutely appropriate if that wasn't brought up as it related to your confirmation.
Yeah, they did not specifically, ask for a response after asking you the question either. So I think we're good.
Okay, perfect. I saw her personally after we had our last meeting, and she didn't bring it up, but we did talk about it as far as excited about the new role, position, etc., and appreciate the response. But I didn't say anything about, we're going to give you something more. I didn't go there at all. I just wanted to be certain that we closed the loop from the commission's perspective. So thank you.
No, they definitely did not act like they were expecting a further response from me or our commission.
Perfect.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone. Any other new business? Any other questions, comments? No? All right. Well, unless there's any objections, then we will adjourn this meeting.
Love these.
All right. Fantastic. It's good seeing all your faces.
All right. Good to see you. Thank